Well, I promise you, It'll be an inspirational experience over the next few days, one that will take the work you do to the next level. We're living at a true inflection point, a moment where creativity and marketing are being reshaped by AI. And that's why we believe at Adobe that creative control is more important than ever before.
Through your vision, you could shape our technology in service of your community.
Bring it on back.
Hello, welcome. Thank you so much for joining us. We are so excited to bring you the very best of Adobe Summit. Today, we're going to cover the biggest themes, key innovation announcements, and our favorite moments from main stage to backstage. I'm your host, Lindsay Morris from Adobe, and we have a star group of Adobe experts and Summit enthusiasts here with us today. Rebecca Staley, Gina Casagrande, and Logan Siemens. So here's how today's show is going to flow. So first, Rebecca and I are going to cover Adobe Summit's main themes and key innovation announcements. Then Gina will join us for a live demo of one of our biggest announcements, CX Enterprise Coworker. After that, we'll hear from Elliot Weiner and ServiceNow's Britt Bowman on how ServiceNow is innovating with AI across the organization. After that, we're going to meet up with Logan Siemens for a tour of Adobe and Dick's Sporting Goods brand concierge experience. Plus, they'll also give us a roundup of the other brand activations on the community pavilion floor. And then we'll have time for some audience Q&A. So please submit questions as we go. We also have experts responding live time in the pod and the chat. And when something piques your interest, I know that it will, let us know on the survey pods to the right of your screen, and then we'll be sure to follow up with you. And yes, this session is being recorded, and it will be sent to you after we wrap. Okay, let's get this Summit after party started. Please help me welcome my amazing co-host, Rebecca Staley. Hi, Rebecca. What a treat.
Did someone say after party? Are we still partying? I can't wait. Let's
We're
go.
still partying. Bash is not quite ended yet. I'm still rocking.
It never ends. It's never
Okay,
over.
Rebecca, we got a badge in for this session.
Ooh,
We are serious right now. Here we go.
don't worry. I'm official.
All right. All right. Okay. Then we're in the Summit frame of mind, I think, but to get our audience in the right frame of mind, we'd love to take a quick pulse of the room. If you were there in person or if you joined virtually, please tell us your answer. If you weren't able to come to Summit this year, we'd still love to hear what part you are most interested in seeing when you absolutely join us next year. The question is, what is your favorite part of Adobe Summit? A, main stage announcements, B, sneaks, C, meeting friends and learning from your peers, D, breakout sessions and hands-on labs, or E, community pavilion. Whew. Rebecca, I gotta know. Can you choose? What's your favorite?
I mean, of course I can't choose. I love all of my children equally. That said, I am at my heart a tech girly. You know, I've been at Adobe for such a long time that I always love seeing my people. I always love the breakout sessions. Hearing from customers who are leading those sessions is always really inspiring, really exciting. But I gotta say Adobe Sneaks. I realize that that's the easiest answer because it's so fun, but I just gotta know what we're cooking in the lab. Anytime I can get sort of backstage and see what we're cooking in the Adobe kitchen, it's so exciting. It's so inspiring. And some of the sneaks this year, I am already really excited to get my little hands on. So that's got to be my answer. Lindsay, what's yours?
I love that. I'm also a sucker for sneaks. It's so good. And I also love the breakout sessions. I love hearing our customers tell their stories of innovation. I love working with the speakers, crafting that story
Yeah.
together, making sure that their work is really shining. So that's a really fun area. And of course, the labs and meeting friends, as we see, is super popular too. And I really feel that. Okay, are we ready? We're going to start at the top with main stage highlights. Yeah. All right. Here we go. Let's go. The
Kick us off,
anticipation.
Lindsay.
The anticipation is really killing me. All right. So one thing, Rebecca, chime in here, but I think one thing that, we both sort of talked about together when we were thinking about and we were at Summit, um, that stood out was how much more of a range we're seeing and how AI is actually being used effectively. So, we saw from Dick's Sporting Goods to NBC Universal to Comcast Infinity to P&G, like they were all what they were describing were these really real examples of how organizations are getting the most impact and where these sort of like creative and marketing leaders are tuning in into their like specific workflows, thoughtfully layering in AI. Um, yeah, that I think that was like the stickiest, juiciest part for me from a big sort of umbrella perspective.
I totally agree with you, and the that was true from the main stage moments all the way through those breakout sessions and labs. I think that one of the big things that I left Summit feeling this year was that AI is so much more nuanced than I could have previously imagined. Just looking at all of the diversity in these applications, a customer A is not using it the same way the customer B is, and I think that that's a real testament to how, as to use your language, people are being really thoughtful about how they are building it into the foundation of their existing workflows rather than just layering it on top. So that
Mhm.
felt like a really exciting generative, excuse my pun, moment. So I'm with you. I see what you see.
Yeah, I totally agree. It was so fun to see the different use cases and examples and see the opportunities and learn from each other. There was so much learning that was going on. It wasn't as much people trying to keep up. It was like learning about all the different ways people are doing it and they're doing it and like this really kind of diverse conversation. So I really love that. And then like Shantanu said, it's not about more. It's about getting the content right, making sure that it's actually connected and then serving that clear and specific purpose.
Love it.
Okay, and then human and AI together, I think, was also this like continual thread. It carried in the stories, it carried throughout the innovation that we showed, and we're going to be showing a lot of it today as well. We saw it in every announcement, every workflow, every example of customer experience orchestration.
Yeah, that definitely really felt clear that we were starting to see new modes of collaboration. So when we look at this human plus agent, this is a really exciting moment to understand. Again, just coming back to that previous thing that we were just talking about, AI can be as diverse as each one of us because we are all using it in a deeply personal way. And that's true for us as individuals, as teams, as organizations, as brands. So definitely seeing all of this sort of organic movement and growth with AI and what humans can do with it. So exciting and inspiring.
Love that. And then when we think about customer experience orchestration as marketers, as creatives, like we have spent, I think, our careers grappling with the complexity of all of this and what it really does take to create these meaningful experiences. And, we're sitting at this intersection right now of so
Mm.
millions, billions of bits of customer data, web properties, creative assets, copy, dozens of platforms, LLMs and agents, right? And so reaching audiences where they are has never been more important.
Oh, it's true that I don't think that complexity is new, but it is a different level of complexity once we start adding in all these new channels and modes. And something that I heard our leadership talking about while we were on site was, we now have a new audience, which is the agents
Hmm.
themselves. The agentic web is now a new target audience. So this is not a 1+1 problem. This is how to math. This is logarithmic. This is exponential. Whatever it is, that graph is growing, growing, growing. So it is psychotically complicated to be a marketer in this moment because we all have to integrate all of these different layers that you were just naming.
Yep, you heard it here. Psychotically complicated. Okay. Um, all right. And so, bringing this together, the most exciting announcement at Summit was Adobe CX Enterprise. And so, what we announced with CX Enterprise is about moving from these disconnected tools, these point solutions, to this one unified AI powered system that can actually orchestrate an entire customer journey end to end. And so, as marketers, we've been trying to piece this together for years across these key pillars. So, across content supply chain, brand visibility, customer engagement. And so, really thinking about this as the anchor as we dig in more to these announcements.
Yeah, absolutely. It's sort of the unifying factor here. Each of these separate areas is getting its own juice. It's getting its own innovation and exciting moments with AI. And, they're all going to be independently advancing, but this wrapper around all of it, Adobe CX Enterprise, is really that foundational piece that's going to connect all of your workflows, because that really does feel like the big differentiator here. It's just breaking down those walls one by one.
For sure. Okay. Speaking of one by one, we have
Ah,
got some work to do. Ha. Okay. So, Rebecca, why don't you start us off with
yeah.
announcements for content supply chain?
I would be delighted to talk about content supply chain. It's my favorite thing to talk about. Everybody's going to find their nerd thing, This can be my nerd thing. So there was a lot. There was a lot. That was one of the other themes of Summit was, wow, this is a lot. So breaking this down into some of just the highlights, the Cliffs Notes version. Oh my God, I've never felt older saying Cliffs Notes. Can I get my millennial babies raising their hands, please? Thank you. So content supply chain, when we talk about content supply chain, we're usually talking about this full spectrum of ideation and concept all the way through to delivery. So how are we working on these assets? How are we imagining them, then producing them, then delivering them? The biggest things that we saw at Summit on main stage came from David Wadhwani for the first one, and that's Adobe Creative Agent. So thinking about producing these assets, who on your team is actually going to be creating these assets, this content? One of the major things that I want to flag before we start talking about the agent itself is this is, again, we're getting back to that theme that Lindsay was mentioning earlier, human plus agent, human plus AI together. So not only do we need these AI-juiced workflows, we also need good old-fashioned taste and judgment. So the most exciting part of this creative agent is that this is one of the ways that you are going to scale the existing skills and talents on your team. The people on your team have spent their whole careers building their taste, their curiosity, their creative, expertise. And so the creative agent is designed to orchestrate across all of these different models, tools, apps, and production processes. So it's going to be threading together all of these different pieces. And the orchestra conductor, I guess I'm doing this with my hands, so I'd better complete that metaphor. The one conducting the orchestra is going to be your creative team. They're sitting at the helm, they are steering this ship, and they get to set the vision and make the judgment calls. Well, this agent can go ahead and accelerate execution and take care of all the repetitive tasks. Getting down into the pixel layer in Photoshop, this is not why anybody became a creative professional. I mean, some of us really like being down in the pixels, but that can be a joy thing. The agent is going to take care of all of that. Again, those rote tasks. So it can also, by the way, it exists across all of the creative tools, Photoshop, Premiere, After Effects, the ones you know and love. It is also present across the more advanced Firefly surfaces like Foundry or Firefly Creative Production. It's also in Frame.io for creative asset management. So this really is a layer and a new coworker that sits across all of these different creative pieces. So if you are, by the way, curious about anything that we're talking about here today, I think that there's a survey or there's going to be something on the right side of your screen. So you can go ahead and raise your hand to chat more with us about that. All right, so creative agent, this is all well and good. This is sort of in those creative tools, being a ride or die with your creative team. It functions in this bigger context of the next announcement that I want to talk about. Adobe Brand Intelligence. So this is, again, one of like 90 really interesting things that happened on main stage. It's so hard to choose. But I do want to name this one because the creative agent functions alongside and within Adobe Brand Intelligence. By now, I think we've all learned that the AI models and agents that we're using are really only as valuable as the inputs that they have underpinning them. So, the out of the box models are really cool and we can do amazing things with them. Where we really turn it up to 11 is when these agents or when these models, when these systems can start really engaging and learning, and when you can be providing more specific information about what you needed to do. Any out of the box, model is not going to be able to give you a fine-tuned, brand sensitive result. So Adobe Brand Intelligence is really understanding your brand as a dynamic, living, breathing entity. So much of what your brand is exists in these sort of interstitials between this pixel versus that pixel. There's so much institutional knowledge that lives within your team's brains. So Adobe Brand Intelligence is going to learn not only from the brand guidelines that you feed it, sure, give it a PDF, show it some really good examples. It will also continuously learn from things like approvals. What do you approve versus what do you reject? Your team is going to be leaving annotations on various types of content. Brand Intelligence is going to use all of this and ingest all of this institutional data from your brand specifically so that it can continue to learn and grow and be more valuable for your specific team. So this is hugely powerful. Okay. Lindsay, I know I'm talking a lot. It's because I'm so excited and I'm sorry.
I
I'll
know.
feed it
Me
along.
too. No, no, no.
Okay. My two best friends were hanging out without me. That one really stung. This is the last thing that I just want to mention for content supply chain. If you have time for nothing else when you are reviewing all of this amazing stuff at Summit, I strongly recommend going back and listening to this conversation from the day one keynote. Jensen and Shantanu are so vibey. They are so lovely. They are so intelligent and so able to clearly and inspiringly articulate what this moment is about for AI and marketers and creatives. But the main thing that they were really landing on that made my ears perk up was this idea of the digital twins. So if this is a concept that you're familiar with, I won't 3D twin explain to you. But this was really about intermediating our experiences in the real world as human bodies living in this physical world and bridging the gap between the physical reality that we live in and a digital space. So there's a lot of really exciting stuff in that conversation. We don't have time for philosophy right now, so I'll just say the idea of the digital twin is for anybody who is marketing a product. I imagine this is most of us. We have products to sell. So if you can imagine a digital replica of every single SKU you are responsible for as a marketer, this is a huge accelerant for your content supply chain because now you have so much flexibility when it comes to how you are representing your products, in which context. Just the dream of personalizing every single marketing campaign, quite literally down to the pixel. It's so exciting. So again, if you have time for nothing else, this is my recommendation from Summit to go dig in and get nerdy about digital twins. All right, Lindsay, I think I'm only 20 minutes over my allotted time, so I'd better pass this back to you.
Yeah, we'll wrap that section with this quote. With from Jensen. This is how honestly I feel about a good party too, if I'm being honest. Like you don't want to be too early, but it is rough if you are catching up too late. So this party has started. Get here before it's too late. Okay. All right. Next up, we're moving quickly now.
Yeah.
Okay. We're moving into brand visibility. Okay. So brand visibility. We know that 1 in 4 consumers is leaning on LLMs like ChatGPT and Gemini and others to do their brand research, right? They're asking their questions. They're asking, what's the best pair of sneakers? You're going to find out later in this session that answer. But they're asking that. They're asking, how do you find all natural makeup? They're asking things like, what conference could I learn about AI customer experience orchestration, right? Your brand needs to be discoverable. And so this change in behavior is actually a massive shift. 50% of web traffic is now bots, right? And you can see these other stats, it is growing really fast. And so it's just table stakes for brands to have a strategy around this dual optimization for humans and AI. And so, from an Adobe perspective, like we have a comprehensive brand visibility solution. It includes Adobe LLM Optimizer that allows brands to really measure visibility and AI powered search results, and then to benchmark, which is actually really important. Benchmark against competitors, identify those content gaps. We also have Brand Concierge, which creates personalized conversational experiences to maintain your brand consistency. You'll also see that in action a little later in the session. But the newest announcement that was, all about the buzz at Summit for brand visibility was the new acquisition of SEMrush. So SEMrush is the industry leader. Yes, very exciting. It's the industry leader in helping companies understand how they show up online and in search. So when we think about the core components of brand visibility, we're thinking about the combination of SEO and GEO. Both are crucial. We talk about LLMs, like the front door has moved for how consumers are discovering brands. I do want to note here, and I think this is really important, and we, heard this a lot on main stage and in the breakout sessions. Like, it's not a SEO versus GEO. I think now we're all like, whoa, GEO, we got to catch up. We got to get there. People are doing it. It's an SEO and a GEO. I love an and. And so thinking about how we're really uniting SEMrush's discoverability and intelligence with Adobe's agentic solutions and brand visibility is the game changer here. Adobe and SEMrush, SEO and GEO. We love the and.
Love an and.
Love an and.
Yes, and.
Okay, moving right along to customer engagement. So we announced the X Enterprise Coworker on main stage on day one. It totally stole the show. It's a specialized AI agent that executes tasks based on defined business goals, orchestrating work across people, agents, and tools. But Rebecca and I knew we couldn't do this one alone. We could not. We could not.
We need a
So-
coworker.
We need a coworker. We need a coworker, and we have one. We called in Gina Casagrande for backup. She's here live with us to take us through coworker in action. Gina, it is so good to see you. Let's badge you in.
Oh, my badge. My plethora of badges hung up right behind me. Here's
Oh
my
my gosh.
badge from
All
Summit.
right.
Badging in. Here we go.
We're badging in, and Gina
All
was
right.
super badged in because she was on main stage presenting just this thing. Gina, when I saw you, I think last, you were heading in to day one main stage, and I was like, hey, how are you doing? You're like, I gotta go. It was so fun to see you right before and then see you on the big screen. How was it up there?
It's always such a blast and such an honor to be able to represent our technology and our product innovations. So, yeah, really powerful and really fun.
We loved it. Okay, we're gonna see.
Oh, we lost Lindsay.
We lost Lindsay.
There you are.
Oh,
Okay.
I'm here. I'm back. Okay. We are going to see it in all its glory. We're going to get out of the way. See, I was trying to get out of the way too soon.
Yeah.
We're going to get out of the way, and then we'll hand it over
Awesome.
to you.
Okay. Well, thanks, Lindsay and Rebecca. I am super excited to share our biggest summit announcement, Adobe CX Enterprise, and I'm going to show you our vision for it in just a moment. But just to break it down, this is our vision for an end-to-end agentic AI system that can orchestrate across the entire customer lifecycle from acquisition to loyalty. And what you're seeing here is how that comes together, connecting data, content, and journeys with AI. At the top, we have the 3 areas of innovation that you just heard Lindsay and Rebecca take us through. Brand visibility, helping brands show up correctly, not just in search, but in AI-driven discovery. And this is Adobe Experience Manager evolving for an agentic web. Then we have customer engagement, bringing real-time data, journeys, and decisioning together on Adobe Experience Platform to deliver truly connected, personalized experiences. And last, content supply chain with Adobe Gen Studio, enabling our teams to plan, create, and scale content with AI, all within brand control. Now, you'll see underneath that running across all of this is Adobe CX Analytics. It's giving teams a conversational AI-driven way to understand performance across journeys, content, and interactions. And what really differentiates this is the Adobe AI platform underneath. That's where agentic AI comes to life through things like Adobe CX Enterprise Coworker and a growing ecosystem of agents that can actually take action, building audiences, generating content, orchestrating journeys, and optimizing outcomes. Adobe CX Enterprise makes the entire portfolio of capabilities available through these agents, skills, tools, and MCPs. And Adobe agents streamline those time-intensive tasks and help you deliver your customer experience objectives. And it's grounded in two intelligence layers: brand intelligence to ensure everything stays on brand, and engagement intelligence to continuously optimize towards business outcomes. And this is all powered by Adobe Experience Platform, providing the real-time governed data foundation that makes this scalable and trustworthy. And so now let's take a look at how this all comes together with our vision for Adobe CX Enterprise. I'll show you our vision, but first I'm going to thank Marriott Bonvoy for allowing us to use their brand to bring this vision demo to life. And while the data and workflows you'll see are fictitious, the need for speed is very real. Phil, if we go to the live demo. Okay, here we are in Adobe CX Enterprise, and you can see I'm greeted with a conversational interface. It's one that knows who I am and what my role is, and it doesn't just automate work. It intelligently orchestrates it across people, agents, and tools. In this case, I've been notified that there's an urgent item I need to action that's been flagged by my manager. And usually this is where I start sweating. But thankfully, the good news is I have Adobe CX Enterprise Coworker that I can rely on to help accelerate my work. It taps into all of these Adobe out-of-the-box agents alongside Marriott's custom agents. I set the guardrails around what it can do, all within our enterprise-grade permissions, policies, and governance. So even though there's more work to do, I'm not sweating it. And as I dig in, I also want to understand why the conversion rate is low. Now, CX Enterprise Coworker taps into Proactive Insights agent to surface these insights, and it automatically runs a root cause analysis. It's showing me that there's a spike in traffic, but it's not leading to more bookings. And digging in, we can see that it's also connected the dots to a popular TV show that's filming in region, trending on social. I wonder if Lindsay and Rebecca can guess what I'm talking about, but we can't say it legally. Anyhow, it's got everyone dreaming of the Riviera, and that's great for Marriott, except as you can see, they're bouncing. Now, the system doesn't just tell me what's happening. What's really powerful is that it tells me what I should do about it. In this case, it's recommending I optimize a landing page to quickly improve the bounce rate, and then we should launch an acquisition campaign to capitalize on this trend. So let's go ahead and start with the page. Now, the agents start applying quick fixes to the South of France page, and let's take a look. Here we can see the before and after. Now, this page is pulling in existing assets that are definitely more relevant for Riviera dreamers. I love that it's pulled in the existing assets because that means that more asset reuse means less wasted budget. And these images look good, but I also want to have it suggest some new headlines that have the film and luxury theme. I would ask you guys to vote here, but given the time, I'm going to go ahead with number 2. No spoilers, just luxury in the Riviera. And there we see it reflected right there on the page. It looks great. Let's go ahead and publish. Now, before it goes live, an autonomous pre-flight check validates accessibility, generative and SEO guidelines, and more. It's super powerful. And just like that, I've optimized for brand visibility, ensuring this landing page is discoverable by agents and more relevant to humans. Now, the next thing I want to do is plan a new campaign with my team for our Southern France hotels to capitalize on this trending moment. And what's great is I don't start from scratch. CX Enterprise Coworker automatically pulls in Marriott-specific KPIs, audiences, ideation imagery, and data from across the system so that we have this amazing, powerful start. I'm going to go ahead and invite my team, and it knows who I typically work with and makes the suggestion on who to include. Amazing. And once we start ideating and collaborating, we create the strategic campaign brief. And when we're ready, we can go ahead and publish this back to the system. Now, agents automatically get to work creating the projects and tasks and assigning resources automatically based on availability. And with Adobe Gen Studio, metadata flows end to end across the content supply chain workflow, from the planning and ideation that we just did all the way through the activation that we're about to do. So once I've reviewed it, I can go ahead and approve, and work kicks off simultaneously across these multiple tracks. I can see that the CX Enterprise Coworker is starting to build audiences in the background, and it checks in with me at key moments to keep me in the loop. This is really powerful. And in this case, it's actually uncovered a new audience. Using call center, chat interaction, and semantic data signals from the Marriott service agent, it's identified a fast-growing audience that just hit the profile threshold. And it's almost like it's tapping me on the shoulder saying, hey, don't forget about these guys. And I love that. It's basically the power of this agentic system. The opportunities find me. And so let's go ahead and add that. And now we can see that the hero assets, they've already been created by the design team and have been approved. And now the Firefly Creative Production Agent is working to generate the multi-channel variants. And before these even hit my screen, I know they've gone through brand validation according to Adobe Brand Intelligence. I love that. Okay, and now the journey's been set up for targeted audiences and built with this new content for our outbound channels. Let's take a look. Okay, here's our journey. And what's great is Adobe Engagement Intelligence checks for audience overlap, journey priority, and optimizes the timing, the channels, and decisioning to ensure we are delivering true one-to-one personalization. So I can go ahead and simulate this for predicted performance to ensure it's within our benchmarks, and it's all green all the way. We see our imagery added to it. Looks good. Let's go ahead and publish. And just like that, we went through from a signal to a fully orchestrated campaign. Adobe CX Enterprise helped me and my team optimize for brand visibility, streamline the content supply chain, and deliver intelligent customer engagement. Now that the campaign has been launched, let's say it's been running for a week or two, we want to understand how it's doing. And I can hop on the call with my team to start looking at campaign performance. And because CX Enterprise skills extend to Microsoft's ecosystem, I can jump onto a call with my team and use Copilot Cowork to surface campaign performance insights right within Microsoft Teams. So here I'm going to ask to show me that Riviera Hotels campaign is performing, revenue per audience per channel. And now right here, we have the latest insights directly within the collaboration tools we use. And in this case, it's now asking, would I like to turn this into a branded PDF? Yeah, perfect. Let's do that. And also, I want to set up a recurring meeting with my ops team and also send this report as a pre-read one day in advance, every Tuesday automatically. Behind the scenes, CX Enterprise will work with Microsoft WorkIQ to understand who's on the team, what needs to go into the report, and how to format it based on our brand guidelines. What used to take and be a complex manual task has just happened in a single prompt. And that's how we're bringing the power of Adobe CX Enterprise to users where they work. So let's head back to the slides, Phil, because I want to summarize this back to where we are. I'm going to go ahead and advance to the next slide, if it would let me. Great. Oh, too far. Okay. So what I just showed is how we're bringing this all together across our agentic system with Adobe CX Enterprise and how we're meeting teams where they work. And it's not just Microsoft. These integrations extend across all the major AI platforms, including Claude, ChatGPT, Gemini, and more. So you can access Adobe's capabilities directly from the tools your teams are already using. And it's like you get the best of both worlds, the rapid innovation of these AI platforms and the rock solid proven capabilities of Adobe CX Enterprise. And at a high level, the CX Enterprise Coworker is enabling this with agents and skills. They're the actions, things like building audiences, launching journeys, generating content, and with the business context, your business context. So your campaign briefs, your goals and strategies. The system understands not only what you're trying to do, and it's not just what buttons to click. And it learns from your past campaigns, performance, and decisions. So it's got a memory. It doesn't just start from zero every time. And with permissions, approvals, and brand rules, you have the guardrails you already rely on to stay intact. It's enterprise ready, and you have that governance. And then last, with the agentic workflows, this is where it all comes together. You have multi-step work that can actually execute, not just assist. Now, CX Enterprise Coworker becomes a layer that sits across the entire stack, connecting Adobe, your enterprise system, and your external data. And we continue to invest in innovating on the applications you know and love, like Adobe Journey Optimizer, Real-Time CDP, Customer Journey Analytics, Marketo, Target, and more. Now, these innovations will further enhance the impact of these applications in conjunction with the CX Enterprise Coworker. So within Adobe, it removes the need to think in silos, and it extends beyond Adobe into your CRM, ERP, and other systems, and even external signals like we just showed, social or market data, bringing all of that into the same flow of execution. So it's orchestrating across Adobe agents and your brand agents with the level of autonomy that you control. And we built this to meet you where you are. So we're working directly. You can work directly in Adobe apps with everything built in. You can work inside tools like Copilot, ChatGPT, Claude, or Gemini, or you can plug directly into APIs and build your own workflows. Now, most organizations don't just pick one, they use all three across different teams and use cases. And that's the shift. You no longer are necessarily working inside the systems, you're accessing the intelligence behind them from wherever the work is actually happening. And that's the power of Adobe CX Enterprise. Again, an end-to-end agentic system that brings this all together. It's super exciting. Hope you guys are excited too. Please tune in and watch the summit recap and replay to learn more.
Thank you, Gina. Truly, like seeing how CX Coworker works like in action live and how it uses that human expertise and then with AI to automate these, complicated workflows is so powerful. And you gave us such a great glimpse into how this is really making such an impact and such exciting times.
Yeah, we're super excited about this innovation and where we're headed.
Okay, again, for folks in the audience, if you would like to learn more about any of these new innovations, if you want a custom demo, let us know in the survey pods to the right of your screen. Thank you, Gina. We'll see you back here for Q&A.
All right, sounds perfect.
Okay, so we've covered the announcements. We've seen some of the new tech in action. Now let's move to some real world example with ServiceNow. So we had a chance to sit down at Summit with Adobe's Elliot Weiner and ServiceNow's Britt Bowman to learn how Britt and her teams are building a future-ready content engine that aligns teams, workflows, and data. Let's hear what they have to say.
Hello, my name is Elliot Weiner. I am the head of global content strategy for enterprise marketing here at Adobe. And I'm so honored to be joined by Britt Bowman, Director of Global Marketing Optimization at ServiceNow. And we're so excited to have her here giving her own summit session and talking all about innovation and AI. Well, Brent, tell us a little bit about your session here at Adobe Summit 2026 and what we can expect.
Absolutely. I am thrilled to be here presenting about what we took about 9 months delivering with Adobe at ServiceNow. So what we did is we set the foundation for scalable success within our marketing organization with kind of the unsexy work first of setting a common taxonomy, building out that operating model, the right people doing the right work so that we are prepared to take everything that we're doing in our campaigns, our content, all the way from strategic planning down into what lands on a salesperson's desk and pump that into AI. We are making a big bet on delivering against all of our campaign goals in alignment with AI, inclusive of a lot of incredible services coming from Adobe, like Gen Studio for performance marketing.
That's amazing. Talk about your experience with Adobe Services and how you're partnering to bring some of this innovation together.
Yes, so my experience with Adobe Services has been incredible. I have a partner in crime at Adobe, his name is Daniel Reed, who really helped to build out not just the product that we're delivering, but the entire vision for what we were doing, not just in 2025 that we delivered at end of year, but the next phase that we're delivering in 26 and beyond. On top of that, we have an ongoing relationship between ServiceNow and Adobe where we have several people from the integrated services team sit down with us to talk about what are we actually attempting to achieve as a business and to deliver incremental improvement, not just big bang launches and then walk away. The services organizations change the way that Adobe and ServiceNow partner. I'm really excited for the next phase with them.
That's fantastic. And I love that you talk about it's not just a big flash in the pan, but it's really about adoption. How do you talk about enterprise-grade adoption with ServiceNow and some of the AI innovation that you're mentioning?
Absolutely. So I would say that when you roll out a big enterprise-wide change like this, they've got to understand the value. What's in it for them? How is this going to make their life easier? And like I said, when you start with that not glamorous work at the bottom of taxonomy, that's really hard for them to understand. But when you can connect that across your entire marketecture, which is my new favorite word, across your entire marketecture so they can see, hey, I can actually see how every one of my activations is performing in market so that I can invest more in certain things, maybe divest from other things, maybe replicate some of my success. That's how we drive adoption, is by letting them see how this makes their job easier, helps them actually get intelligence, not just vanity metrics, and tying that into capabilities that Adobe offers, as well as things we're seeing from Anthropic, to be able to give them more user, consumer-grade experiences in their day-to-day, has driven the ability for the organization to scale without a lot of shadow marketing behind the scenes.
I think you're hitting on such a key point, right? Scale. And how do we scale that, not just in different siloed areas, but across customer experience orchestration? Can you talk a little bit about how ServiceNow is doing that?
When you talk about something like what we delivered in the campaign and content management system, it can feel like everything is just focused on operations, but the reality is nobody's buying your product because your internal operations are clean. Nobody cares. What are they buying for? They're buying because the message you deliver is relevant at the right time in the right place. And so if you're driving one voice into the market, one message in the age of buying groups where it takes 22 people to make a buying decision, and those 22 people need to decide that they're going to spend millions of dollars over the course of several years on your product, they all better agree that you are the right solution. So starting with internal operations allows you to have the what and the how connect with the why, which is ultimately that incredible customer experience, so that they know undeniably ServiceNow is who they want to make their big bet with.
And I think you set it up so nicely, right? You have to build those foundational layers, and it's so critical. What do you think organizations are potentially missing, right, when they're talking about an AI-first strategy in today's marketecture in the worlds that they're in?
Thank you for using my language. I think what they're missing is that foundation. When I talk to people at other marketing organizations, there is a lot of frustration around AI because it's being slapped onto the side of a potentially shaky foundation. I like to say you can't build a house on sand. You've got to have a strong foundation. And so if you're just slapping AI onto the side of something that's not stable, then it's going to hallucinate. It's going to pump out slop. It's going to deliver something that doesn't actually enhance your ability to scale your business. You're just going to be generating more noise. And that just takes us back to the days of spray and pray marketing with a new shiny hat on it, and nobody wants that.
I think you bring up so many good points, and I think there's so much that we can talk about around different types of innovation. What else are you excited to hear about here at Summit in terms of AI innovation?
Yes. So I love AI. I use it for everything, but what I really want is AI orchestration. And so I hear there's a lot of buzz coming about some new agent orchestrators. And honestly, if we could build an engine to orchestrate all of these agents for marketers so that they're not spending so much time, oh, I'm in Workfront and I've got to fill out this form and this drop down so that it connects into the DAM in this way, and instead they can have a consumer grade experience of what they're attempting to achieve with which audience around which moments. That is going to be a game changer for how we take our message to market.
What are you going to take back to your teams from this year's summit?
You've got to set that foundation. In every one of the meetings that I've had so far, every session I've gone to, the common theme in these sessions is, I would say, twofold. Number one, solid foundation. Data has got to be clean, structured, so AI is able to ingest data so it can output something that is much more actionable. And the other theme I would say is organizational change management, and making sure that you're taking your business with you on that journey. And what is interesting to me is this is a tech conference, and we sure are talking about a lot of non-tech concepts, but it's because if you want to build the architecture of the future, you've got to have those two things right. The right foundation set up so you can build, and organizational change management so you're not doing it alone.
I think there's so much there to be learned, and I think I'm so excited to see your session and to potentially watch it on demand over and over, and even have my agents maybe watch it and learn a thing or two.
Oh, wouldn't that be interesting? Can they tell my agents how it went?
I think we can start a Slack conversation with our agents.
Perfect.
Let's do that.
We love partnering with ServiceNow. You can learn more from Britt through her on-demand Summit session. We've included it in our Summit session binge list in our deck resources.
I need somebody to make me a t-shirt that says you can't build a house on sand. That has just become my new mantra.
Yes. So good. A lot of good mantras in there. I also loved, her talking about, the right foundations so you can build, but then that organizational change management so you're not alone doing it. I really love that. So more great insights from Britt's session and beyond. Thank you to ServiceNow for being such great partners. Okay. Speaking of great examples of innovative partners, every summit, Adobe hosts the Experience Maker Awards to highlight visionary brands and leaders who are delivering personalized and impactful customer experiences. This year, the award winners absolutely dazzled us with the way they were blending creativity, data, and AI. And it wouldn't if we didn't show these just amazing winners. So let's take a look.
At Adobe, we believe in a world where everyone can create. And tonight is a celebration of what that looks like in action.
The Conductor Award goes to TSB Bank.
And the winner is Dr. Tapan Sahu.
The Ambassador Award goes to Samantha Tuttle from Newell Brands.
The catalyst is Edux.
And the Advocate Award goes to Costa Portieri.
And the winner is M.H. Alshaya.
And the Maverick Award goes to the Coca-Cola Company.
And the winner is Chow Tai Fook.
And the Experience Maker Award goes to Amit Correa of the NFL.
The winner is Greg Gominger from Lenovo.
Congratulations to all of you again.
All right. Amazing. So amazing. Also, we couldn't not add this quote in from our good friend Shaker from Coca-Cola Company. What an honor. What an
Not
honor.
to brag. Yeah.
Not to
Yeah.
brag.
I will also, I just have to say that I got to be one of the judges this year for one of the categories, and being behind the scenes with all of the incredible stories that were being told. I mean, this was not an easy year. Everybody is doing incredible stuff. So it is huge to actually see all of it laid out like this and for people to really get their flowers for doing incredible work. It feels like an Oscar, because when else are you going to get this level of recognition?
I love that. And I didn't know that you were a judge. That's incredible and the perfect spot for you. Okay. Here we are, moving right along. More. We are in the Community Pavilion, the Summit Hub for community and inspiration. This year, we truly had more interactive, hands-on customer activations than ever, including Dick's Sporting Goods, who showed up truly just all over Summit. Like, they were on main stage, they were in breakout sessions, they were on the Community Pavilion floor, and I got a personal tour of Adobe and Dick's brand concierge experience that showcased how Dick's is really activating Adobe AI across connected online and in-store journeys, delivering more personalized experiences for athletes. Let's take a look.
I'm Lindsay Morris. I am at Adobe Summit on the Community Pavilion floor. We're at the Adobe Dick's Brand Concierge Experience, and I'm here with my good friend Logan, and he's gonna take us through.
Dick's is actually on a mission to personally equip every athlete to achieve their dreams. And they're working with Adobe to actually achieve that mission. They're doing that with tools like Brand Concierge, and we're gonna show you how they're connecting their online and in-store experiences. And we're gonna have Rami actually take you through it. He's our Adobe expert, so let's go check it out.
What do we have here?
This is the Adobe Dick's Sporting Goods experience for the AI to personally recommend a shoe to you. So using AI to help you be the best athlete you can be. So if you type in your first and last name,
Okay.
and then the email is going to be used to send you a QR code
All
for a
right.
nice little in-store experience right after this. So we're going to go through 3 different sports,
Okay.
running, basketball, or soccer. Which one do you want to get into?
Running.
So this starts the conversational experience.
Okay.
So you can pick from some of the pre-prompts here that we have, or if you have something going on with running, you can type it in yourself.
Okay, I'm gonna say I'm relatively new.
So this is leveraging all of the Dick's Sporting Goods brand data. So this is their products, this is their pro tips on their site. So it's responding and say, okay, you're new. As a beginner, what should you do, right? Start with a walk-run approach. Keep your feet landing hip-width apart, right?
Okay.
So you can see some of the sources here. These are the articles that a user can just click on. So you can go and see, okay, I want to learn a little bit more about this. What do we got down here for some of the pro tip prompts? So we can go into, do I need special shoes for trail running? Want to try that? So as you can see, we asked for like specific features I should look for in a trail running shoe. So you can see this like durable traction, toe bumpers, waterproofing. So now the idea is that with all that context that it knows about you, you're a new trail runner, you're trying to dig in, starting off, and now let's get a shoe recommendation. What's your shoe size and fit? So now it's like, okay, I got that. What is your primary running surface?
The Community Pavilion floor.
Ooh, that might not be an option.
Just kidding. Okay.
Pavement, trail running, treadmill. So it's really trying to connect the attribute to the shoe to make sure that the recommendation is exactly what you need. So I think we have enough info.
Okay.
Let's check out what it comes back with. Yeah, I like it. So it's like the Price is Right up here.
Yeah.
So this is exciting. So we got to a shoe recommendation. It also tells you why it fits. You have the email, you'll pull up the QR code and head over onto the in-store experience. It was great having you.
Thank you so much.
Enjoy.
I'm ready.
How did it go?
They found my fit.
They found your fit.
That was
I love
amazing.
it. Well, you just saw how Brand Concierge can actually help you as an athlete find the products you need faster and more efficiently. Now we're showing you how that connects to a real in-store experience.
Love it.
You'll see behind us, we have a whole Dick's Sporting Goods shoe wall and a store built out here. And we're gonna show you how a Dick's teammate, an in-store associate, can take that information from Brand Concierge and help you find your product in the store. Wanna check it out?
Yeah. Okay.
So go ahead and pull out your phone.
Yep.
And you're gonna open up that email that Brand Concierge sent you. And there's a QR code
Right
here that our Dick's teammate is gonna scan. Now, you'll see as we scan that QR code, all of this rich information about who you are as an athlete is gonna appear here. So we know that you're interested in running, you're a beginner runner, and we have all of the information from your chat all here for the teammate to reference. You'll also see we have your recommended shoe. So now the teammate doesn't have to guess about who you are, what you need. They know all of this the moment you walk into the store.
Amazing.
The best part about this is we have your shoe recommendation actually here on the wall. Should we go see it?
I gotta see it.
And here it is, the Hoka Bondi 9. It's beautiful in that awesome lime green.
Yeah, I love that color.
It looks great. Well, as you can see, Dick's is totally changing the game when it comes to connecting online to in-store retail experiences, and they're doing that with Adobe products like Brand Concierge. Now all of their in-store associates are ready to go and ready to meet every athlete where they are.
See you next year at Summit. So fun. Oh my God. I had the very, very best time, and so exciting to have Logan here with us live.
I'm
Logan.
furious, Logan. I'm so mad at you. You specifically. If I had known it, I could seek you out at Summit to get a cool running shoe experience.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I was the running shoe guy at Summit. And so I have to ask Lindsay, before we dive into all of the amazing things in the community pavilion, did you get that running shoe? I know the one you were recommended on. Oh, no way.
Oh
my gosh.
yes, I did. I got my kicks from Dick's, and I am a runner now.
Oh, okay. And it worked. Look at that. It's amazing.
It worked. It was incredible. Absolutely. Logan, I saw you literally everywhere, I think, on the community pavilion. You were just one of the busiest people.
Yes, I was all over the place. I'm on the global activations team. And so our job is to make the Summit show floor as fun as possible. And we do that through showcasing our amazing brands that work with Adobe and work with them to create these really fun interactive experiences, which I'm going to show you.
I love it.
Well, I mean, like I said, Logan, I'm pretty mad that I didn't see you. And if you're going to be the fun person at Summit next year, now I know, and everybody on this show knows, you're the guy to seek out.
Come find me if you want to have fun at Summit. Yeah, that's the name of the game.
That's right. Okay, so look, you were so busy and you were involved from concept to execution. So take us through your highlights where the tech and brand purpose really came together.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, looking at the Summit show floor here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a little flyover of all of the amazing fun things there were to do. Because really, this was like Disneyland this year. There was so much to do. It was a little overwhelming. I was having so much fun. We had 5,000 people actually go through all these different activations. And this is across 10 different Adobe products that we showcased. Starting with the heart of it all, the fire pit in the middle of the community pavilion, we're first going to talk about the sphere. We actually built out a mini sphere display. Everyone was obsessed with it. And you'll see, not only did we have the sphere, but we also built out Vegas all around the sphere. So it was the Adobe-ified Vegas, and we even had our own model train zooming around, which was pretty fun. And then I got to call out, you could actually go up to a kiosk and use Firefly Foundry to actually create content that would display on that sphere, which was pretty cool. Zooming along here, we're going to go to our next awesome activation, my personal favorite, the Sharpie activation. We launched this at Adobe Max last year, and we brought it to Summit, and we tailored it to marketers. So you could actually sketch with the Sharpie and then bring that sketch into Adobe's fully connected content supply chain to see it not only come to life, but also be activated in market. So you went through tons of different applications, and then you got to see your amazing creation on this awesome photo screen. Pretty cool.
Shantanu and Jensen, did they sign it? Did they sign the wall?
We got to call out this moment. It was pretty crazy. Hot off of main stage, Shantanu and Jensen came by the Sharpie booth, and it was Jensen's idea, but he put his signature on the wall, and Shantanu also as well, and you get this amazing photo. I mean, the vibe's immaculate, like Rebecca said.
I love it. It's too good.
All right, let's keep zooming through the community pavilion in our flyover here. We're going to head over to the other side of the community pavilion, to the fan zone. Adobe has amazing partnerships with some of the world's leading sports teams and brands. So we had tons of different things to do here. One of my favorites was the NFL activation. This was an activation where you got to use Adobe Firefly to create your own player and helmet. And then we printed out that design on your own custom luggage tag, which is pretty fun. Then we had the Dick's extension of all of their different touch points and activations with their fun golf bays where you got to hit some golf balls. We had some very famous people swing by here and swing. And I will say, just because you're a professional athlete does not mean you have an amazing golf swing. I'm not going to name names here, but there were some interesting swings that we saw throughout the week.
Some good tea, Logan.
Yes, good tea. Well, just across the way from the golf base here, we actually were showcasing the Premier League trophy. We had it here so you could get a picture with it. It was a total hit. I have like 3 different photos with it because I'm obsessed. So it was super fun. And then also over in the across the fan zone, back to the actual Adobe space, we had another touch point where people could interact with Dick's Sporting Goods. Again, it was everywhere, where you could go behind the scenes as a Dick's marketer and experience what it's like to actually orchestrate and create a campaign using agents that Gina actually showed, which was super cool.
I can't believe I didn't experience not one single drop of this. Are you kidding me, Logan? Next time, just slack me and say, get yourself down here. It's Disneyland, but for marketers.
It is Disneyland, but for marketers. And we're going to end the flyover here back to Dick's Sporting Goods. As you saw in the video, this activation was absolutely amazing. And in this awesome store, there was a lot of shoes, which was really fun. We even had our own Adobe A on the wall made out of Air Force Ones, which was my personal favorite touch. And it really just came to life, and it really connected that experience I was showing Lindsay, which was really fun. So Dick's Sporting Goods, all over Summit, but there were also so many other amazing opportunities to get hands-on with real live Adobe technology. And it made Summit truly like Disneyland, which was pretty fun.
So fun. So much magic. We loved it. It was so fun to relive some of these experiences with you, Logan, in the community pavilion. Thank you for showing us all the goodness. We are almost at time. So we are going to just quickly move over. It is not Summit without sneaks. So we are just going to take you quick through this. It was a fan favorite. If you don't know about sneaks, if you know, you know, but you got to know if you don't. It is a place that we share experimental ideas and experimental tech, and it's presented by Adobe scientists and engineers and designers and product managers. Adobe's Eric Matisoff hosts. We have a celebrity there. This year was Eliza Schlesinger. She was so funny. But anyway, if you want to check it out, it's in our resources. But the coolest thing I think about this year versus other years is you can actually play around live at home. You can go right now and get your hands on some of this experimental tech yourself through the sneak peek innovation page. So be sure to check it out. We're including it in the resources. Okay, we're buzzing through. There was too much to talk about. We just did it. We'll have Gina and Logan come back on to say our goodbyes. We actually the experts have been responding so amazingly in the chat. With all the questions and in the question pod. So we are, everyone seems to be squared away there. All good. Thank you to everyone for being here and joining us today, to our audience. A huge thank you to our Summit superheroes, Rebecca, Gina, and Logan, for sharing all of your insights with us. We hope to see you in November at Adobe Max and Adobe Summit. Yes. Next spring. And have a great rest of your day. We've included a ton of resources. So there's some events, there's some our binge list, our Summit binge list session. So you can get all of it right there, plus some juicy resources that'll keep you on your journeys. Thanks again.
Wonderful. Thank you. Have a great rest of the day, everyone.
Thanks, everyone.
See you next time.